Ciro's Minds, Brain, and Programs. He discusses the possibility of artificial intelligence revealing the intelligence of human brains. He claims that strong AI that is appropriately programmed has a cognitive states that can explain human cognition, but essentially, human brain and a computer program are only similar. They cannot be the same. He proves this argument with the Chinese room experiment, and in the Chinese room experiment, um, he goes through a series of tests where he develops a provocative argument to show that artificial intelligence is indeed artificial. Where one person is in a room who knows nothing of the Chinese language, is sitting alone. In that room, there are several boxes containing cards with Chinese characters with different, varying type of characters. And on one side of the room, there's a slot where speakers of Chinese may answer questions or rather messages in Chinese, and on the other side is a slot where the person in the room may issue replies. The person in the room, using the menu, acts as a kind of computer program, transforming one string of symbols introduced as input into another string of symbols issued as output. Ciro claims that even if the person in the room is a good processor of messages, so that his responses always make perfect sense to Chinese speakers, he still does not understand the meanings of the characters he is manipulating. Thus, contrary to strong AI, real understanding cannot be a matter of mere symbol manipulation like the person in the room. Computers simulate intelligence but cannot exhibit it. It generated enormous critical literature. According to the system's response, the occupant of the room is analogous to not to a computer, but only to a computer's central processing unit, or the CPU. He does not understand Chinese because he is only one part of the computer that responds appropriately to Chinese. What does understand Chinese is the system as a whole, including the manual, any instructions for using it, and any intermediate means of simple manipulation. Ciro's reply is that the other parts of the system can be dispensed with. Suppose that the person in the room simply memorized the characters, the manual, and the instructions so that he can respond to Chinese messages entirely on his own. He still would not know what the Chinese characters mean. Another objection claims that the robots consisting of the computers and sensors and having the ability to move about and manipulate things in their environment would be capable of learning Chinese in much the same way human children would, in a way acquired their first languages. Ciro rejects this criticism as well, claiming that the sensory input the computer receives would also consist of symbols which a person or machine could manipulate appropriately without understanding their meaning. And what that all boils down to is that you cannot have an AI with human cognition. It's just not possible. There's no way for a machine to emulate the full cognitive functions of a human brain, simply because a human is the one that created it. It's limited. It's not like it's using everything, because there are aspects that a human brain has, that can't be put into a machine. It's always, quick decisions, quick snaps, fastest solution to the biggest problem, and then makes its way down. And ultimately, that gives us more reason to not Alan Turing's argument, but John Searle's argument, which is basically the debunk of Alan Turing's argument, where they can be the same. And if that is the ultimate case, then it's basically saying that no matter how well someone programs a computer, it does not understand Chinese. It's programmed. It doesn't learn. Well, for the most part, it doesn't learn like a human does. It only simulates that knowledge, which is not intelligence, only a simulations simulation of what humans can create.